it shall be revealed. Bring it to us. Let me see what you're talking about. You said it shall be revealed. Talk to me. Yes, ma'am.
You know, you good now. You don't hold it for so long. When you know anything, you come out, you got to go to church, you go outside. And anytime you got to be really into Christ to be a Christian. Can't just be a servant. Your servant, you treat your fellow like, you treat yourself like, first thing, treat yourself like your family and people out there. You know, some people, they talk this thing, but they don't live this thing. This is not a game, this is a real, and that always said, be for real, be yourself. You can't play Jesus and play Satan the next time. You can't do it. You do that. And then every day of my life, I pray that God every day. Help me to treat my family life, my fellow man life. Don't let me treat nobody, keep my mouth from speaking things wrong, keep my heart from doing things wrong, keep my brain from thinking things wrong. Those are the two things I have for every day. I'm not going to like this, and I never want about it in mind. Everybody,
What you're saying is, what you do in the night will come to the light. You can try to hide, but your hide won't catch up with you. This man said, it shall be revealed. The old you, if you not change, the old you gonna come out. Just keep on pretending, but somewhere or another, the old you gonna come out, and that's when everybody gonna see that it's revealed. Why I say it shall be revealed. Deacon said you're going to drop your religion. The only thing we said about dropping your religion, you can't pick it up. So don't drop somebody else and pick it up. But it says reveal it, bring it to the fore. All right, Rita, are you ready? Give us that verse 1.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
That's what Paul said. He reckoned that the suffering of this present time, meaning that the things that I'm going through right now can't be compared to the thing that's going to happen, what I'm looking forward to. That's what they're revealing to me. All this suffering that you're going down through, just keep on suffering, because one day the suffering will come to an end. So that's what we suffer for. Now, how do Paul know that? When you think about some of the suffering that Paul went through, he can explain and tell them what he went through. What did Paul go through? First thing, he was blind for 3 days. Then Paul began to get whipped. Paul got played dead one time. You remember that? Paul got all kind of beat. So Paul went through some things. Paul got out of the stormy sea. He went through things. So when you go through something, can you tell somebody about it? So Paul experienced. That's what we said. Experience is the best teacher. I can tell you how it is to be sick. But until you get sick, then you know what it is to be sick. So that's what Paul tells him. I can tell you all this here, but you need to have it. When you get sick, you can tell me how it is to be sick. When you get broke, I have been broke and have no money, you can tell somebody how it is to be broke and what you went through to be broke. And what he's telling us that when you reveal this, everybody can see it. So suffering is a part of it. What is that? We're going to go through our trials and what? Tribulation. Why we go through trials and tribulation? That's a part of God. We have to play that part. If you come through life doing all fine, what's the first thing you probably think in your mind? If I'm doing good all the time, what you come to your mind? I don't need God. Why I don't need God? Everything is good. I don't need God. Everything is good. When do I need God? When things are bad. When I'm down to my last. Who do I need right there? I need God right there. So that's what he's telling us. You have to suffer in this life. Suffering is a part of growth. What is that growth? That growth is to get to Christ. That's what he said when he said, reveal it and bring it to him. And that suffering is all about. Teach somebody, tell somebody what suffering it is. I went through the same thing that you did. So I can tell you how I feel about it. But I can also tell you who brought me through it. Paul telling them like that. And you know, one of the great teachers we talk about, we come back there later, and let somebody about, 2 people about to tell us about what happened and how suffering goes through. But right now, Rita, what is that 19 tells us?
For the earnest Expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God.
Now look right there. Honest expectation. Like Rome said, they are waiting for. The creatures are waiting. What does it mean by the creatures? Everything that God made. Isn't that something? Everything that God made is waiting for the sons of God. Now, who are the sons of God? When he said the sons of God, who is he talking about? He is talking about the believers. If you are a believer and you're doing what Christ said, then you are called the son of God. He's not talking about the sinners out there. He's not talking about the happy. He's talking about the one that follow him. In order to follow Christ, you got to suffer through him. So when you do that suffering and do everything that Christ asks you to do, when you become a son of God, when he say the son of God, that we go through this life and say, but all this comes in tribulation. Because Christ went through it, we have to go through it too. And you look at that thing when he say that, and John 3:2 tell us, we are the sons of God. When we are pure, we shall be like him. If I want to be like Christ, what I got to go through if I want to be like Christ? I'm going through some stuff. If I want to be like Christ, I'm going through some ups and downs. If I want to be like Christ, I'm going to be a humble person. If I want to be like Christ, I'm not going to be the one that serves. I'm going to be the one that do the serving. But what I want somebody to do what? To serve me. What was Christ? Christ did what? He served me. So if I want to be the son of God, I got to follow in my footsteps. If your daughter tell you she want to be like you, what do that mean? She want to be like you. She want to look up to you. I want to be like you. If my son tell me, Dad, I want to be like you, what he's telling me? He want to do the same thing I do. So if we want to do the same thing that Christ done, what we got to do? We got to give up something in this life. What we got to give up? We got to give up self. We got to give up wrongdoing. Did Christ do anything wrong? What did Christ do? He loved. What do we got to do? We got to love. But then, what do we do? We hate. We hate. We do just the opposite. But what do people tell me? I am a Christian. What does tell them? If I want to be a son of God, I got to do the same thing that Jesus did. Son of God. I mean, I got to do what he did. I want to be a son of God, but I don't want to do what Jesus did. I want to be a son of God on a Monday. On a Tuesday, I want to be the son of Satan. On a Wednesday, I want to be the son of Satan. On Thursday, I want to be the son of Satan. On Friday, I want to be the son of Satan. On Saturday, by 12 o'clock, what happened? Well, now, I want to be a son of God. Isn't that something? 12 o'clock. I'll do all the week to 12 o'clock. Then I'm going to put on my Sunday suit, get ready, because I want to be a what? Son of God. But that's not what it says. In order to be a son of God, this can't be a part-time thing. It's not what Christ wants you to be part-time. He wants you to be what? Full-time. He don't want no part-time love. He wants a full-time love. Pick up your cross. What's that cross is? All this burden I'm going through. Pick up the cross and follow me. That means it's not going to be good. Christ. You know, when you think about all the things that these people went through, and Christ went through, just for us. He didn't have to do that, but he did it for us. So if I want to be a son of God, I'm going to have to follow the same thing that Christ did. And then, Peter, what we got? Come on.
You saying that, and I told her, the way my mom suffered with her back when she fell on the dog factory, I mean, the other type of she got to lift her back. And my back hurt so bad, I don't know how she stood all those years of God knows I really give up, I hurt real bad on the spine and stuff. But my mom, that woman had Christ all over her. She stood. She said, baby, one day you gonna see where I'm coming from. And Lord knows I know where she come from. Because I walk in the pain every day, but nobody never knows. When I ain't walk at it all I come through, girl, you gonna wait so bad. They don't want him to talk about that. You can't be talking to this stuff. Every time you see somebody talk about the Bible. But I learned folks that talk about the Bible come so fast, ain't used the Bible, they just talk. And then they spend 1 hour on Sunday, you're a Christian. No sooner than an hour, what? Go home, go across the street, go and do it with your neighbors on that.
if you want to be like somebody, like you follow the footsteps. Our job, we want to be like Christ, so we need to follow his footsteps. That means his footsteps was not good. Christ went through some things. But what happened? We don't want to go through nothing. The least the thing we got, what you going to do? Give up? And what's the next thing you want to do? Turn back where we come from? But what am I? I'm a son of God. If you're a son of God, you need to do just like Jesus did. You're going through some suffering. Reader, what we got for that next one?
For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope.
Now look what he said. The creature. What when he said the creature? Here are the creatures that God made. They didn't do anything wrong. But who did that wrongdoing? Adam. Adam did that wrongdoing. Adam sinned. He said Satan. Adam sinned. Those creatures, as I read about the rocks, the mountain, nothing. They did nothing wrong. When God created the heaven and the earth, he made it perfect. But what happened? I can't say that because you know I'm going to say like this. She get on me about that. But we don't say it. Sin came into the world. And we know who brought sin into the world. The woman. He said that. I know I did. But he can back it up. I'm going to let him back up. But it's true now. But look where we at. Nothing was done wrong until man sinned. Those who are preachers and everything has to suffer right now. When they suffer because of what he did. And nobody can do it with Christ. Since they suffer because of what this man done, because of what this man done, he made everybody to suffer. And look at that. And then once it's suffered, it says, by reason of him. Who was him? He was talking about God. Because of what Adam did, God made everybody suffer. Everybody's going to suffer. The rock's going to suffer. Snakes going to suffer. Everything. He said, man, everything will suffer because of man wrongdoing. The world was made perfect. But since man done wrong, God said everything was going to suffer from that there. Because of our wrongdoing now. When you think about what he's saying right there. You know, I continue to look at that and pound that thing. Wasn't that something? The whole Calvary had to suffer because of man. The whole Calvary, the poor reign had to suffer because of man. All the wrongdoing because of, I'm a man in Apple last week. All the wrongdoing because of man. And here we are here, and this is it. But then, when you look at that last word, it said subject in the same hope. So that means he done wrong. But if I got hope, what can happen? I can be saved. He didn't confine me to be lost. Now I have a chance to be saved. What was that chance? When he sent his son. And his son did what? He died. So here's my chance to be saved. I was lost. But here comes Jesus. What happened? They stretched him out on the cross. They killed him. He rose. That gave me a chance to be what? Saved. Now, if I want to be saved, here we come again, I got to do what Christ said do. That means I got to be a son of God. If I want to be saved, I got a chance. I'm so glad he didn't say, because of Adam's sin, you don't have a chance to be with me. But because of Adam's sin, and God forgave by sending his own son, I got a chance now. What do I have? I have a choice. I can either go with Christ, or I can stay where I am. Now, what's your choice? Think about your choice. He give you all this time to make your choice. What is your choice? Do you ever think about your choice? She said she think about her choice. Deacon said Christ. He sent his son for us. So we have that choice now. No matter what Adam did, we can't change that. But we can live right and try to be saved. Right there. Rita, what we got for the next one?
Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God.
Look at him. I can be delivered. How can I be delivered? By being like Christ. If I want to be delivered, I can be like Christ. He said the creature. What that means? That means if I get saved and do what's right, everything will be all right. It all starts with who? Start with man. When it starts with man, and man do what God says, and here comes God. Later on he says this, well, God can change his whole thing now. But we got to do right ourselves. We can't live one day for Christ and the other day for Satan. You can't do that. That's what takes place right now. We live in one day for Christ, the other 6 days we want to live for Satan. But we got to live right, because when you look at hope, my hope that I'm going to be with Christ one day. Your hope that you will be Christ one day. But in order to get there, you got a road to take. Now, what road are you going to take? What road are you taking? Are you preparing yourself for that day? Are you still just sitting here and just going through the motion? Christ don't want the motion. What does Christ want? He wants to serve. And what does serve someone? In your heart. He already knows your heart. So who can you fool? You can't fool nobody. You can't be the great temple. You got to be what Christ wants to do in order to be a son of God. To get to that point there. The whole thing about if you want to be like Christ, you got to do what he says. When you do that, when Christ takes ours and put it where it's supposed to be in perspective. How do we do that? By following Christ's word. By doing exactly what he says. Remember what it said? When it says in bondage, what are you in bondage to right now? You're in bondage to sin. We've been in the bondage of sin. When we got in bondage of sin? From where? The day that Adam was born. The day that Adam sinned. He go back to the woman again. The day that the woman gave Adam. That's when sin began. So that means we got in bondage right there. But the thing about it, we got a chance to get out of bondage. Talk to him.
He called about the woman. He forgot God left man in charge.
God left man in charge. I know we're going to get hot for him. I like it. Get hot to him. Here we go. Talk to him. What?
Adam didn't say it. He made that one.
Adam didn't say it. He made that one. So what we got to say? Come on, Miss Time. Talk to him. I hate you back to saying something.
He left Adam in charge.
He left Adam in charge. She's still saying that.
He punched the woman.
And that's why she did it, he said. You know, we got a he say, she say. I like that. Somebody gonna get right. Woo, they talk about that. You ought to hear what they're saying. That's all right, he said. He's gonna stand his ground. But we are still in charge. He's still gonna be here. But you know the good thing about this now. I'm glad that Adam sinned. I'm glad that Adam sinned. I'm glad that Adam sinned. Why I say that? Because Adam sinned, I won't be here. How many people's on earth? How many people's on earth? One but two. One but one. Then a woman come in there. So if Adam had sinned, what would happen? Well, none of us be here. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm so glad that he did that because he gave me a chance. They both, he said, sin. Come on, Dan. Yes, but wait a minute. If they had kids, where did the kids come from? Come from them, but what did they do to get the kids? Sin. So aren't you glad that Adam did that? Think about it. If Adam hadn't sinned, I wouldn't be here. So what do you mean? God already had the plan. It was going to happen anyhow. So I'm so glad that he did it. But the thing about it, he did it, but I'm so glad that God know that. So what did he do? He sent his son. What did he send his son for? Let's see. Because what? We already possessed. So God already had a plan. You know, nothing comes upon God. God already knew that. From the day that he created Adam, he knew Adam would do that. Think about it. He went through all the Old Testament. What happened? Nobody could do it. They killed all kind of things, and nobody could do it. But then he said, that's enough. I'm going to send who? I'm going to send my son. I'm so glad that he sent his son, because what did his son do? He paid the price for us. You know, he paid that price. We was in bondage, but his son paid that price for us. So what it is now, I got a chance. I have that chance.
Yes.
to come out of my sinful way.
Uh-huh.
That's why what? He died for me.
Yes.
I told you every time he put that nail in his hand, who was that for? That was for us. Every time that crown was around his head, that blood came out, who was that for? Us. When he put that spike in his foot, who was that for? Us. When they spilled him in the side, who was that for? So aren't you glad that?
Yes.
Because without his sin, who wouldn't be here? Think about it. Without his sin. But I don't like to say that people don't think about it like that. But Adam did us a favor. Because God did a better favor. He sent his son
Yes, it did.
to pay that price. I can do it. You can do it.
No.
Couldn't find a one. He went through everybody. And he couldn't find a one. So now, don't make yourself clear. I like that. So here we go. He said, case closed, so we got it now. Look at the next one. That question says, I think we got a question. Say, in what ways has God revealed himself to you and reassured you of his presence? How can God's presence of this reassurance of his word strengthen one hope for a better future? What ways has God revealed himself to you? All sorts of ways. What ways has God revealed himself to you? When you get down, when you can't find nobody, when you get so sick that the doctor say it's time to go, who step in? So don't he reveal himself to you? So that's the feeling right there. When you go through all kind of problems in this world and nobody can help you, who step in? Does he reveal himself like this? Yes, he do. And also he reveals himself to the doctors. He tells the doctor what to give you to make you better. Who is that? Does that reveal him? And who it come through? It comes through God. Yeah. God does that. So, that's how God shows his presence to you. He don't come down and say, look, people, I'm God. He said, look, I got somebody to show you who I am. I am God. How do you know? Because God created that person to tell you. When you think about that, when God reassures you, when you know you got God's assurance, I can go out. When you know that you got your hand in God's hand, there's nothing to stop you. No matter what man say, what God say, go. If man say no, God say what? Go. I like that. If man say no, God say go. I like it. When man tells you you can't do it, what does God say? Yes. So that means what? God revealing himself to you. And then, anybody else got something to say? Here's the second one. We got the revealing. Now what we have is that the redeemed. What is that? Let the redeemer what? Let the redeemer say so. So here we are. We're going to redeem this thing now. All right. Read it. What we got? Read 22 and 23.
For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption to wit, the redemption of our body.
Look what Paul's saying. Now, when you read that part right there, Paul is making a comparison. What is he comparing? He's comparing to a woman in childbirth. Men, we don't know anything. But what Paul is telling them, the pain that a woman goes through, this is what all about. We going through pain right now. We are groaning right now. It says when a woman in childbirth, how she be groaning, he just letting us know right there. Paul is revealing that thing. That's why I said the redeeming. He's telling us about that. All the pain and the suffering. But the person goes through childbirth, he makes a comparison to let you know, women know this, how hard it is. What they tell you, that life down here is not going to be easy. It's just like having a child. Yeah. That's what Paul said here when he says that. Women understand. What we understand is some kind of pain. But a man never understands that. But Paul breaks it down to and compare that to a childbirth. When you compare that to a childbirth, you understand what he's saying. The worst pain you have to say that. When Paul tells us about that right there, then he said the first fruit of the Spirit. Who is the fruit of the Spirit? That's us. If you believe in what God says, and you're the fruit of the Spirit, what did it tell us? You're going to suffer. Yeah. Because you are the fruit of the Spirit. When you become the fruit of the Spirit, it's not going to be an easy life. When you become the fruit of the Spirit, you're going to have all kinds of obstacles in your way. But what you're going to do, you're going to keep on pushing. Yeah. You never stop pushing. That's becoming the fruit of the Spirit. Now, if you're out here doing what you want to do, and not what Christ wants you to do, you can't claim to be fruit fruit of the Spirit. When you talk about the fruit of the Spirit, what one thing comes to my mind, or your mind? Oh, that's so good. The first thing that comes to your mind is what? Love. What did God do? He loved so much that he did what? He gave his only begotten son. How many of us would love somebody so bad? You hate somebody so bad. You love somebody so bad. That same person that you hate, that you would give your own child for. Think about it. Would you do that? Be for real. No. What I'm going to do? If I got you down, what am I going to do? I'm going to keep you down. If I got your neck out of my foot, I'm going to keep stomping your neck. But what did Christ say? Christ said, not so. I love you so much. Even all my wrongdoing. He said, what? I still love you. I remember that song said, I still love you. So Christ still loves you, no matter what you do. So that's the kind of Christ we serve right there. When he said being the first fruit, we got to give up something to be the first fruit. You got to give up something. And this like him, a lot of folks don't want to give up nothing. But yet what they call themselves, the Son of God, and the fruit of the Spirit. What spirit are you fruit of? You can't be a spirit of I know the fruit I'm talking about. And so reader, what we have for the next one right there?
For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for?
So I'm saved by hope. But yet, hope is not seen. So if a man see it, that's not hope. What is he saying there? I began hoping when I realized that right from wrong. When I got big enough to know what Christ is all about. That's when my hoping started. That someday I will leave him. Did I see hope? I didn't see hope. But I what? I thought that there was hope. I worshiped there was hope. I prayed that that's going to be hope someday. Because if you see it, Paul said, that's not hope. You see that bench right there. Remember the night? You see that bench. What do you have in that bench going to hold you? Faith. So you hope that that bench will hold you because of your faith. But what we say, hope is something that you wish for is not there. An expectation. I hope that someday will be required. Why? Because I believe there is a God.
Yeah.
That's hope.
Yes,
That's expectation. That's what I believe in. So I can still worship there, and I stand on hope. Remember I said when you was young, you hoped that someday you get back.
Yeah.
That was a hope right there. You were standing on that hope. When you was young, you thought that you have some children one day. That's another hope right there. So when you talk about hope, that's something that you want. You don't see it, but you expect that to happen. That's the hope he's saying right there. When Paul mentioned that hope. Then if I look at the next one right there, read them. What does it tell us about that verse?
But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it.
Look at that. If we hope for it because it's not here, do you still hope for it or do you give it up? You keep on what? Hoping. What that brought to my attention was David. And then I thought about Job. Think about Job. When you look about David and Job, he had what? Patience. You got to have patience in this life. It's all about patience. But what do we have? We have a patience on the microwave hook. What do we do? Stick it in, turn it on, and boom, it really goes. Why is your patience? If you want to be that God, you got to have what? Patience. You got to be some long fussy said, just like Job. You got to be able to suffer this life. But since we are the fruit of the Spirit, and we are the Son of God, we don't think that we need to suffer. Because God has already told me, I'm good. I don't need to suffer no more. But that's not what it says. You got to have hope. And you have to have that patience to be like Job in Christ. That no someday, all this suffering I go through down here, it's going to be over. All the headaches, all the high blood, all the diabetes, all the kind of cancer you got. I'm hoping that someday it's going to be what? Oh, why is it going to be over? Because I hope I'm going to get this what? New body. When I get this new body, I don't have to worry about gaining weight. I don't have to worry about losing weight. All I have to do is just hope that I get my robe. You don't have to worry about them shoes you're wearing now. All you got to do is hope that you get them what? Them golden slippers. You don't have to worry about them clothes, because one day you're going to have a what? A robe on? Is that right? So what's that? Is that hope? I hope that one day this is going to happen. It's not here, but I hope one day it's going to happen there. That's what that hope is all about. Hope is looking into your future. You got to live for it. In order to live for it, so you got to be a son of God. In order to be the son of God, you got to be the fruit of the Spirit. And the main thing we say is that love and faith. Who do you have faith in? You have faith in God. If you got faith in God, it says you can move a mountain. But you got to have what? That faith. What do we have? We got that greater faith. I don't believe it happened. You may not believe it. But if you trust in God and have faith in God, it will happen. And, I can't remember one time why what God said didn't come true. When God made his promise, it came true. How do you know that? If God told you something, do you know it came true? It might have not came when you wanted to. But then when it came, you thought about it. I prayed for that. And here it is, right here in my doorstep. Who did that? God. So what was that? I hope that happened. And God what? Made it happen. That's what I like when I said that. Hope that. Oh. I think it gives us to say something like that there. All right? Now, we say that hope in God is revealed, and we know we have patience to wait on it, and there's a question. The question says, how can, look at that word, Christians find comfort and sustain hope as they endure the heavy burden of living in a sinful world? We live in this sinful world. How can we find comfort in this sinful world? What is your comfort in this sinful world? Believe in God. What is your comfort? God is your comfort. I believe in God. That's my comforter. So in this sinful world, I can still live in this sinful world. But I don't have to sin because I'm in this sinful world. All right. Why don't I have to sin because I'm in this sinful world? Because when I became a new creature, what happened? I left old things behind. What are those old things? Everything I was doing wrong, I left it behind. So I can live in the sinful world with the Son. I can sit right here with the Son. And doesn't bother me at all, can't you? Why does that bother you? Because you got that God what? In you. So that means I don't have to do what that person's doing. Because I know Christ came into my life. And that song said, when he came into my life, what did he do? He made a change. When he changed your life, that made a better you. If you still doing that same old you, what change it? There's no change. You got to be a change in you. So that's how we reflect that God is in us. The old bucket gone. The new bucket, the beginning. But what happened is the end that counts. That's the end. That's what I like about this thing here. Whatever I've done, God forgave me. So he gave me a chance to get it what? Get it right. When did he give me a chance? Every day of my life. How do I get that chance? By keep on praying. By keep on asking God to remove that thing. He said, press it toward the high mark. You know, Deacon on this morning. So wherever y'all leave alone, he on. Press toward the high mark. What is that high mark? That high mark is when I walk around, like Keno said, when I walk around heaven. You know, when I get to heaven, walk around, when am I supposed to stop? It said never, when I'm going to walk around what? All day. Isn't that something? I can walk around here and get tired. But what it tells me, when I get that new body, I can walk around heaven and never get tired. I don't even have to have nothing to eat because I'm going to have some good eat. What's that eating? Honey. I'm going to eat good. Milk and honey. When? All day. You know, I can't beat that. Can you beat that? And then, here's the last one. We done got to redeem. Now, once we get redeemed, this is a good part. When you get redeemed, what's the next word happen? Rejoice. What's rejoicing mean? Being happy. Being happy. You can treat me like you go to down here. But one day, I'm going to get a chance to be happy. I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make a joyful noise for everybody. But I like it sometimes that we be happy right at here. You know, we come in Sunday school, we can get happy. So that means I'm rejoicing right there. If you don't see the light, open up your eyes. Because somewhere you miss it. Because when you come in here, your eyes ought to be open. Remember, it doesn't start in the church. Where does it start in? It started at home. When you gather it at home and bring it in the church, who's going to see it? Everybody going to see it. We know God knows it. So everybody going to see it. Don't let that little light shine. Don't put it on the lampshade. Let everybody see your little light. When you let everybody see your little light, be happy. You know, when we was partying, we was happy. So why can't we be happy in Christ? Just like we was out there, I can say because I did, I don't know about you. But I had a good time when I was doing that thing. But right now, I'm gonna have a better time in Christ. Wasn't that a good time? Okay, so if you had a good time doing what Satan wants you to do, why can't you have a good time doing what God wants you to do? That's a good time. And me, since we talking about redeeming, that's what we give to.
Just one. Just one.
Yeah.
Likewise, the Spirit also helps our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself making intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he making intercession for the saints according to the will of God.
Look who comes in. When you praying those prayers to God, it said the Spirit also helps. So what did that tell me? When I'm asking God for the wrong thing, what does the Spirit do? The Spirit intercept and do what? Throw it out. Throw it out. When you ask God, Lord, I want you to put this grace on somebody, what does the Spirit say? No, you can't tell me something gonna pray like this. Lord, if you just move my mountain. Sometimes you be your own mountain. You know, somebody said, I went to Old Buckyville last week. God let me know I was my own mountain. So you better watch what you pray for. But then again, I'm so glad that the Spirit intercepted prayer and said, hey, God, I can get this right now. So you got that go between. That old prayer that you pray and what praying, the Spirit said, this is not what you really need. Throw it out. That infirmity. Throw it out right there. This is what he means when he say that. God don't hear that because he got this intersection. Now, and God can have that intersection. It said they both come together as one. The God and the Spirit come together. The Spirit here, he related to God. Throw that old mess out that you talk about in your mind. In your mind, what is talking about? In your heart. You know that stuff you got in your heart? Throw it out. It don't mean no good. That's what the Spirit does. He takes it and he throw it out. He don't even let it get to God. Aren't you glad about that? Some of the things that we say, aren't you glad that the Spirit come in and say, hey, take this out? Because it's what you get to God and he may take you out. And you talking about taking somebody else out there. What it say right there, right? That part. The Spirit intersection. And read it, give us that 28.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose.
Look at that word. For the good of them do what? Love God. How do I love God? By keeping his commandment. That's the way that you love God. If you're not keeping God's commandment, you do not love God. You can talk, as my wife said, you can talk a good game. But if you're not doing what God says, that's all you're doing. Talking a good game. When you talk a good game, who hear that? You do. Somebody else do. But what happened? God don't hear that. Because all he knows that your heart is not right. You talking from the lip service. Do you know a lot of people serve from the lip? God don't want your lip. What does he want? God look at your heart. While you talking to me, God already searching your heart. He knows. He knows. You know what song said? He knows. God knows your heart already. So who can you fool? You can't fool God. And a lot of times you can't fool man. They go. So that is like that when you say the Spirit of God come in that power. And then when we look at that other part of what she's saying on that right there, you love God according to his purpose. When you say according to his purpose, what is God's purpose for us? To love one another? What was God's purpose for us? To serve him? What was God's purpose for us? Was all to be what? Saved. Didn't he send the son? That was his main purpose for us. Was all to be saved. God don't want nobody to be lost. But if you do be lost, whose fault is it? It's your fault. Now you have a chance. So God sent his son to give you that chance. So you have a chance to be saved. That's the key right there. That was God's main purpose. For you to be saved. And read it, give us that last one.
Two more.
Two more, read.
Do both of them.
Both of them.
For whom did he foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified.
What do that tell me? God already knows James Bucket, or James Bucket ain't got it. Is that what that tell you? When it said predestinate, he already knew you before you got it. He already knew what you're going to do. But what's so good about it, he sent his son to allow you be saved. Predestinated. You know your future. He said, all those that when he called you, who you talking about? Us. He already know. God knows who's going to be saved. He already know that. He giving us a chance to be saved. It's up to you to be saved. You walk this way that God wants you to walk. That's all we got to do is do what God asks us to do. When we do what God asks us to do, that's all we got to do. Because he gave the chance because he sent his only begotten son. You couldn't do no better than that. He gave his son for all the sins of the world. Because this was the most simple place, and God sent his son just to redeem us all. I can't ask for a better God. I wouldn't serve a better God than that. Now, as we conclude this lesson today, right out of time, there's one thing I want you to know. I am so glad that God made mothers. I'm glad, me, because if it wasn't for mother, we wouldn't be here. So it's just so good, mother, to have a great mother. So if you got a good mother, you need to praise her every day of her life. Because mothers go through things that we don't know. I say I'm a good dad. My church said, Daddy, you the best dad. Yeah, but then when it comes to it, they always go to mom. So I don't get mad. In my early days, I would get mad. I said, wait a minute. I'm doing all the deals. I'm getting what you want. And then you said, Mama, but I thought about it. When I came up, I did the same thing. Everything is about the mother. So as I leave this here with you, I brought somebody with me that's going to tell you about a good mother. Now, this is what a mother do. There are times when the daddy will walk away. But a mother, she won't walk away. She going to stand right there. Are you ready back there? Do you see me? Do you see me right there? I got a song. See my little right? You don't see my little right.
Can you make it? Who is it?
Guess what? Why she getting it? Yeah. It won't take us long because she's good on what she's doing. You know, I like people when they're good at what they're doing, but this is for the mothers. You know, I'm not kicking out the fathers down, but when you hear this song here, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Are you ready? Here we go. Listen to this, mother. Mothers.
Everything is alright. That's what she'll say. She's a bird in the morning, sometimes late at night, doing all she can to make everything alright. Loving all the way. Say it again. I know you do. No matter what nobody say. Just like you do all you can. You leave, you go all the way. Should not do what you say. You're doing all you can. When you know there's no way.
You don't read anything else about Joseph in the Bible. His earthly father. But who was there? Mary went all the way. You know, mothers, you all go all the way. So again, happy Mother's Day.